Making candles is easy. Okay, maybe I was mistaken. Candle making isn't easy. Here are some things I wish I would have known before I started a candle business. Cost. Hi, my name is Jay Catalano. All businesses cost money to begin, and for some reason I thought candle making was as easy as heading over to Hobby Lobby to pick out a couple of candle making kits, presto changeo, and voila! Yankee Candle would be asking me for candle advice. Then I quickly realized that that's why the word hobby is in the store name. I don't need another hobby. So I did my research on what I needed to buy to start making candles, and that's when I realized, oh shoot, I need to buy a lot of stuff. I need to buy wax, wicks, fragrance oils, wick stickers, wax melters, liquid thermometers, wax cutter, a heat gun, wick trimmers, silicone trimmers, pouring pitchers, protective rubber feet, labels from protective gear. Then I realized I needed some kind of candle jar to place the candle wax in, and so why not make my life more interesting and make my own concrete candle jars? And that's when I had to buy silicone molds, pigments, vibrating machines, scales, mixing utensils, buckets, cleaning supplies, and a whole lot of cemento. Yes, I could have gotten away from not buying a couple of those items in the beginning, but let's be real, go big or go home. Candle making, although super cool, is a lot more expensive than I thought. Time. There is a learning curve to every new venture in life, starting from birth. If you think about it, the minute we're born, the learning began. It took 5 months to crawl, 12 months to walk, and 24 months to run, give or take a few months. Basically, it took time. I mean, we're not deer. Mom doesn't just spit you out of her fanny pack and boom, you go off running. No, it took time to learn how to run. And I think the best way to understand the time it takes to learn candle making is knowing that candle making is a combination of both science and art. Chances are, if you are looking to make candles, you are a better artist than a scientist. I mean, if you were so great at science, you'd be buying frog cadavers and not candle wax. But candle making requires some knowledge of science, albeit not on the level of Albert Einstein, but some level. You have to learn the nuances of candle wax and fragrance oils in relation to heating temperatures. You have to know how the temperature of the room you are working in affects the outcome of the candles you are making. You have to learn the percentages of oil to wax type in order to achieve the best hot throw or best smelling candle you can make. Not all waxes are made equal, and as a candle scientist, you have to learn which waxes, wicks, and fragrance oils work best together to give you a safe, good performing candle. Yes, you can look for those answers to those questions in a Facebook community, and although they are helpful, it's far from a guarantee that those answers will solve your problem. It takes time, and it even takes time to decide which wax to choose. Are you a more eco-friendly kind of candle maker, or are you a more cost-effective traditional candle maker? Once you decide which wax, you then have to learn the nuances of that wax to see how they interact with different wicks and fragrance oils. Like I said above, I make concrete candle jars too, so that is a whole other element. And even if you know exactly what you want to buy, you still need to find time to create your products. Oh, and did I mention, candle wax curing times can be anywhere from a couple of days to 2 weeks. Yep, candle making takes time. Testing. Oh my God, I am not trying to turn you off. Truly, I'm not. But the amount of testing you have to do is not only time consuming, which is a key point I mentioned before, it's also substantial. You have to test your waxes, various wicks to that wax, and your fragrance oils. And any changes you make to any of those elements along the way needs to be tested as well. You have to also test how those elements work with your candle jar, and being that I make my own, I have to test those out before I even test out a candle. In addition, you have to test your hot throw and your cold throw, and then you have to have someone else test it for you to make sure it's a desirable enough candle to market to the public. I mean, just because you like it doesn't mean Aunt Gladys likes it. Wait, there's more. You have to test the surface temperature of your jar, the height of the flame, and the overall safety of your candles. And in doing that test, you have to test it from start to finish, which is, depending on the size of candle you make, a 40 to 60 hour burn time test. Again, I'm not trying to turn you off, but there are some businesses like candle making that from the outside look like they're a lot of fun and no work. For example, candy shop, an ice cream parlor, oh, and even a wine tester. I'm gonna take a couple more sips of this wine, and then I'm gonna tell you how it tastes. Candle making is a business that requires you to test, and then when you're done, you guessed it, you gotta test again. Hard work doesn't mean success. As you can probably tell, candle making is hard work. It's a business, and like all businesses, you need to work hard at it. I work very hard at concrete jar making, candle making, and this YouTube channel that ties in with the other two I just mentioned. Work hard and you'll succeed. That has been the family mantra passed down from generation to generation. But in reality, there are many factors to go into success. And yes, hard work is a part of the recipe, but it's not the only ingredient. If you are passionate, avoid as many mistakes as you can, set goals and a budget, and surround yourself in a community of like-minded people who can cheer you on or pick you up when you're down, you're going to have a better chance at success. Also, let's not forget that a little luck never hurt. The truth is, success isn't linear. It comes in small packages, and I have to remind myself of that very often. Making a safe candle, that was a success. My first subscriber on YouTube, that was a success. Making my first dollar from this business, that was a success. The fact that you're watching this video right now, that is a success. Yes, I work hard, but there is so much more to success than working hard. It's a lot of responsibility. Can I just say that candle making is a lot of responsibility? You are inviting a fire, albeit a small one, in the form of a candle flame into someone else's home. You better make sure that that doesn't get out of control. In addition, you better make sure it doesn't heat up the surface of that jar to the point of burning the person who's holding it. Now, I totally understand that we put safety labels on our candles to abide by, but let's be real, how many people actually read those labels? I mean, what happens when the candle lover falls asleep or goes out or just forgets to blow out the candle? Yes, business insurance is a safety net, but would you feel good knowing that your candle burned someone or caused a house fire, even if it's not your fault? There are approximately 10,000 candle fires every year, and 37% of those start in the bedroom. Now, I love that my candle made it into the bedroom and might be responsible, even if only partially, for the children to be in the future. But I would not want anything to happen to anyone in any shape or form due to my candle craftsmanship. Candle making is a lot of responsibility. Hire a candle mentor. When I say hire a mentor, I don't mean hire a mentor day one. Research is paramount. Do you even like the idea of making candles? However, once you know that this is the route you want to go in, and you have some idea of the process, even if it's a small one, that is when I would hire a mentor. Hiring a candle mentor might sound like an expensive idea, but is it? Hear me out. Yes, you could do it yourself. Many people have, and they have been successful at doing so, but most, if not all of those people will tell you they made a ton of mistakes along the way, which cost them time, money, and headaches. Oh, and did I say money? Yes, you could buy 10 different waxes, 7 different series of wicks, 50 different fragrance oils, and try to put the nearly impossible puzzle together yourself, or you could actually hire a mentor so they could share their point of view and steer you away from the inevitable costly mistakes you will make. A mentor will also guide you as to what works best and what doesn't, and hopefully, if you have a good mentor, like me, he or she will help you to avoid the shiny object syndrome. You know, that's the tendency to continually chase new candle making ideas without evaluating their benefits first. Listen, had I known then what I know now, I would have hired a candle mentor, even if it was just for one day. It's about helping others out, not turning a profit. This is a tough concept to understand at first. I know I struggled with it. Why would I want to help others before thinking about money? And how am I helping people by making or selling candles? Listen, I get it. Money's important. But think about any major corporation. Let's take Apple, for instance. When they launched their first computer, they aired a commercial that said, "Think different." Then they showed Albert Einstein, Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Mahatma Gandhi, and a bunch of other people. After that, they showed a little girl who represented someone who was just starting their life's journey, connecting her with all those famous people I mentioned above. And of course, they expect us, the viewer, to connect thinking differently with Apple computers. It worked. Boy, did it work. And what is at least one thing that each one of those people did? They helped others. Okay, I know it's a little deep. I'm not Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King. I do look a little like Albert Einstein in the morning at times, but that's a whole video in a different direction. In any event, our candles help others. Why do people buy candles, and why should they buy yours or mine? There are many reasons. Let's list them off: to add class to your home, to escape, to add a positive vibe, to add a little aromatherapy, touch of romance, self-care, motivation, calming effect. Do you get it? We are helping people. It shouldn't be about the money. Yes, I get it. We got to think about money, but the money will come if you think about your customer first. Trust me, this takes a little while to understand. Let's take this YouTube channel for instance. I help a ton of people out, and if you have ever found me in one of the many Facebook candle groups, you will know I help a lot of people out. All of that help has given some people, not all, and that's okay, a reason to follow me on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. And for those people who I have earned their trust, might buy a product from an affiliate link that I recommend, or watch a YouTube video that makes ad revenue, or they might just buy a candle or a product directly from me. I hope you understand my point, but the gist of it is that if we think of our customers first and what we can do for them, the money will come. It's not all fun and games. Making candles is not all fun and games. The testing, the learning, the trial and error, it's not all fun and games. It's a business, and there are ups and downs in the business that are unrecognizable at first. Yes, making candles can be fun, and it should be fun, but it's tough. It's not as easy as it looks. Things happen that you aren't even thinking about yet. For example, one day I was filming a video on cleaning my silicone molds. I had just made several concrete candle jars so I could eventually add candle wax to them. I added all my molds in my utility sink, placed the sink stopper in the drain, and turned the water on so I could fill it to the top. And then the phone rang. And guess who forgot the water was running? 33 minutes. The water was running for 33 minutes before I realized I even turned the water on. 33 minutes. I flooded my laundry room, my finished basement, my closet, my YouTube studio. It took 8 hours to clean up, and it cost me nearly $1,000 in damages. And to make matters worse, I had to explain this whole mishap to my wife. Yes, this is an anomaly. Chances are this isn't going to happen to you. But my point is, things are going to happen. Now here's another example from a message I recently got. Hey, I'm a newbie and I just made 25 candles, and then when I lit one, the flame was huge and scary. I can't sell these. Is there anything I can do? I'm so distraught. Now imagine how that must feel. They can't sell dangerous candles. All of that time and energy making all of those candles is now gone. Trust me, situations come up more than you can imagine. There is so much confusion, misinformation, and regurgitation. I cannot tell you how much confusion, misinformation, and regurgitation is out there when it comes to candle making. One of the reasons for this, and I believe, is that there is no real standards set in place. There are best practices, but no mandatory standards. For example, when I first began, I wanted to know everything about safety. Safety is most important to me. I mean, you won't get a repeat customer if you burn their house down, you dig? I became fascinated with the surface temperature of a candle jar. And when I asked this question to the Facebook groups, I got a ton of answers. Max temperature is 175 degrees, but you have to stay around 150. Under 170 degrees. Under 160 degrees. Under 150 degrees. Under 140 degrees. The ASTM standard says 140 degrees. 140 degrees for big box stores and 150 to 160 everywhere else. As long as I can pick it up and hold it. I don't know. Following. As long as you can hold it for 5 seconds. Max temperature for a glass, tin, and concrete is 140, and for metal it's 125. Yes, I could go on and on. So what's the answer? And when I explain the answer to you, you will understand why there is so much confusion, misinformation, and regurgitation. And by the way, this is for the United States only. There actually might be a direct answer in your country, so dig in and let me know. The ASTM standards, which are not mandatory by the way, does not state surface temperature on their standards. When I contacted the ASTM, Bob Nelson, a member of the ASTM candle subcommittee, responded by saying, there are no surface temperature requirements in the F2147 or any other ASTM candle standard. In 2006, a surface temperature standard was developed, but it was not pursued. It may be that some test labs have added requirements that go beyond the standards, but that they are not within the requirements of the ASTM candle standards. So basically, you can make your candles as hot as you want. Please don't do that. However, some of the big box stores state different surface temperatures, but Nordstrom states that the ASTM standard states that the surface temperature of a candle jar shouldn't be any higher than 140 degrees. So, even though Nordstrom is misquoting the ASTM standards, the big box store's metric is the only real metric we have on surface temperature. And so that would be the closest thing we have to a logical answer, and even then it's not clear as they are misquoting the ASTM. Now, according to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, most adults will suffer third-degree burns if exposed to 140 degrees of water for 6 seconds. 6 seconds is just enough time to realize that the object you have touched is too hot to handle, and most likely you could put that object down. In fact, I ran an experiment of my own to test the theory. I carefully placed my hand in a pot of 140 degree water. I was able to tolerate it for 3 seconds, and then I had to remove it quickly. Trust me, it's hot. So 140 degrees is hot. Anything over that is just hotter. So what's the takeaway if there's no real definitive answer? You have to do your own real research and go beyond the Facebook comment section for your answer in order to make a sound decision in the candle making business, because as I stated above, there is a lot of confusion, misinformation, and regurgitation. Mean people still suck. For the most part, I get a lot of love, but every so often someone wants to be mean. And trust me, even though my vibe is up, it doesn't feel good. Here's some examples. Jay, you need to cut back on the caffeine a bit. I can't stand listening to you. Now this one might be my wife. I'm not quite sure. Sounds like something she would say. And by the way, I don't drink caffeine and haven't done so in over 3 years. Here's another. Jay, you're so stupid. Now I know that this is my wife. And my all-time favorite this year, the basic rule of cement. Put cement on water, never put water on cement. Well, that one isn't my wife because she's actually pretty smart. But ironically, that rule applies to plaster, not to cement. But thanks for the miseducation. Now, even though I can make a joke about all of these situations, they still suck. I'm a human being with feelings. Yes, I'm real. This isn't make-believe. People make hurtful comments. For what? Does that make you feel better? I don't think so. Even if you think it does, it doesn't. Yes, I know, I get it. I shouldn't pay any of those haters any mind, and usually I just delete or block them from the journey, but I'm letting you know, it still sucks. And you need to know, when you're a creator like me, you will come across the occasional mean person in the candle making business. It could be a comment on social media, a bad attitude from a merchant, or a cranky, mean customer. No matter where it comes from, it still sucks. And take a look at these videos that are popping up now. They're gonna help you on your candle making journey. Until next time, thanks for watching. Ciao. This isn't wine, this is my daughter's apple juice. And I hope she doesn't see this, because if she does, she'll kill me. She doesn't want anyone to touch her apple juice.